Knowles on the News. Susan Knowles.
And welcome, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend. I know it was an amazing holiday to remember all of those that have given their lives for us on Memorial Day. And I know that a lot of times people forget about that, but I hope and I know that you didn't. And I hope that you were able to listen to the show that I had posted from Debbie Lee, who is the mother of Mark Allen Lee. He's the first Navy SEAL that died in Iraq. And I had that show playing for you on Monday. But we are back and looking at some of the things in the news, some of the things that kind of make you shake your head, as it often does in the news these days. One of the most recent ones is what happened over the Memorial Day holiday when a 4-year-old boy fell into the Cincinnati Zoo enclosure with a gorilla, a huge gorilla. And this was a very expensive, unique, probably one of those that, you just have to, they're almost extinct, really. And what happened was this 4-year-old boy, whether it was the fault of his parents or anything else, I mean, I have to look at it, too, and think, the zoo has got some responsibility here for leaving an opening that a 4-year-old or anybody else can crawl down through. Because unfortunately, in this day and time, when anything occurs like that, the first one that's going to be blamed is not the person who came into it, if they're an adult, or the parents of the child or whatever. It's going to be the zoo, okay, or whoever left an opening for somebody that a freak accident can happen. It's going to be, the zoo's fault. So, in this case, I in the very beginning, I'm an animal lover, which I'm sure a lot of you are. And in the very beginning, I was looking at this going, gosh, why couldn't they have used tranquilizers to sedate the gorilla rather than killing it? And I wasn't outraged. I was like, something, maybe there was a better solution. But I understood, we're talking about a human life. And I don't care if his parents were negligent or whatever the case may be. A 4-year-old is a human, a 4-year-old boy. He doesn't know the dangers of anything. That's why he has parents to protect him. But when I heard later on the reasons that you can't use darts to sedate them, to tranquilize them, because I think we all think, and this is kind of what I thought. You put that dart in and they're immediately just going to go down. Well, it doesn't happen. It takes a while, and I don't know if it's a couple of minutes or whatever to do it, but it takes a while for them to go down. And during that process, during that time, they could become angry. The gorilla could fall on top of the child, and it looked like heavy enough to have maybe injured at least, or if not killed, that child. But I tell you what changed my mind totally is when I saw the video, and I didn't watch it all because I didn't want to see it, to be honest with you. The thoughts of what could have happened just are too much for me to want to see. But I watched just a couple of seconds of it where the gorilla was pulling that child around like a rag doll through the water. I'm surprised that boy didn't get injured or killed just being dragged through the water like that. He could have drowned. He could have hit his head on the cement or the hard whatever asphalt it was that they had in there. And the gorilla, the gorilla didn't know what it was doing. The gorilla had this, unusual toy that came to life and came into its enclosure. That's all it knew. And it was going to play with it, kill it, whatever gorillas do. We don't know what that gorilla would have done. And I know people are saying, well, he was just being kind. There was a certain point where the gorilla kind of looked at the kid, and the kid started, I guess, screaming. And then the gorilla, it stood back and like, okay, what do I do with this? You don't know at that point if a gorilla is going to feel that they are somehow in danger and could in an instant kill that kid. And I think Jack Hanna was talking, and that's the guy from the shows where they go out and they look at the exotic animals and, capture the animals or whatever. He's been doing this forever. Let's just put it that way. He's been doing it forever. and working with these type of animals. And he said that he has seen a gorilla take a coconut and crush it in one hand. So that boy was absolutely in danger. Whether that gorilla would have ever touched that kid and killed it, I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing, if that were my kid down there, I would want somebody to do something, to kill that gorilla, whatever you have to do to get him away from my kid. And then I'll worry about later what I should or shouldn't have done, what my damages are, and, on and on and on. But you want the child, an innocent victim, to be kept alive. And I know people are saying, well, the gorilla was an innocent victim. I get all that. But still in this world, so far, I know it's probably not going to take that much longer, but so far, human life is valued more than animal life. And that's the way it's supposed to be. And it has been in the past. Like I said, I know everything is changing. Everything is upside down. So how much longer that will go on, I don't know. And as I'm a true animal lover to the core. I would probably run out in front of a car to save an animal. That's just me. And I didn't want to see that gorilla harmed in any way. But I certainly didn't want to have that innocent child killed or harmed in any way either. And if you have to pick one or the other, it's going to be the child. Just the way it is. One of the things I think shocked me the most, and I mean shocked me the most, is I keep waiting for somebody to say, Susan, that was just a joke, and you fell for the joke. Okay, if that happens, I'm okay with it, because the alternative is, my God, I can't even fathom what I saw. I saw again the Breitbart article that was talking about the gorilla, and they listed. And they had pictures of who tweeted this out, the names of who tweeted it out, and everything else. Black people, Black Americans, African Americans, whatever name you want to use here. They were comparing themselves to this gorilla and saying things like, I don't remember I can't quote it, but words like, this gorilla is black, and that's why he was shot. Basically saying, I don't know what they're saying. My gosh. I was so shocked. It was something that, I would expect to hear before the civil rights era. It was so bad. And things like, well, he was brought to this country and enslaved just like we were, or something. I mean, honestly, did we lose our minds somewhere? I could not believe what I was reading. And then, to top it all off, we had all of these people talking about white privilege. That, look at this kid. They killed a black gorilla to save a white kid. And my response was, so you would be okay then if this were a black kid? I mean, what are we talking about here? This is insane conversation. How can we even have a rational conversation? But this is what people were saying. You saw the headlines. And, I mean, it was like 3 days straight. Memorial services for the gorilla, people dropping by, giving flowers and cards and all that. And, again, I am sorry for the loss of any life. I don't care if it's animal or not. I would not make a great hunter. I'll just be honest with you. I love animals. But again, this was a human being. And as it turned out, for all of those people who were, white privilege, look at what you've done to the black gorilla, it turned out it was an African-American little boy, or so it seems, because his parents, they put a picture up of his parents, appear to be African-American. They're not white. They don't look white anyway. I'm assuming they're not. But like I say, in this upside-down world, I could be totally wrong. But they appear to be African-American, all of them. So now what? Where are those people now that came out and made a big deal about all of this and being white privilege and using the crazy argument of white privilege in this instance? Now, I mean, it really goes to show you where we have gone as a country, as a nation, as a people. If we're going to buy into white privilege, when it comes to a potential white kid falling into a gorilla enclosure and being killed, and somehow that is supposed to be white privilege, then all I can say is we've absolutely lost it. And anybody who sat there and agreed with it, man, you need to check yourself and figure out where the boat, like went ashore and you forgot to get out or whatever. I mean, I can't even believe, I can't even believe I'm talking about it and that we're having this conversation. It's insane that we're having this conversation, and there are actual headlines in the news about that. I mean, honestly, these people, these race haters, all they're doing is using everyone to divide the races. And I had conversations with people, too, over the weekend because I posted some things on my private Facebook, but I made it public, so, there you go. And I posted some things about, it was an article about Netanyahu, and Israel was really mad at his wife for spending money, too much money they felt, and spending the money on, I believe it was a relative of hers too, like taking care of that relative. And I said, this is so odd because, Michelle Obama takes her mother on all these vacations. Her mother lives in the White House. And I don't care what Michelle does in regards to her mother or any other family member, as long as the American public, the taxpayer, isn't paying for it. I have a feeling, though, that we are paying for all of the trips and expenses and anything else that her mother gets, just as we are for the president and his immediate family. And I had people attacking me right and left about, how wonderful Michelle was. I should leave her alone. Why would I accuse her of doing things with her mother? Isn't it better to have a grandmother than not? And then they had to attack the Bushes, of course. It's better than having them run around with fake IDs and pretending to be, while they're drinking. It was amazing. And the worst one was a private message from this guy who just let me have it and called me basically every bad name, compared me to a woman a relative of his that he absolutely hated, called me the same names that he called her. It was amazing, okay? This is where we have come, that we can't have a conversation about reality anymore, that everything is about race, everything. If you say one thing about Michelle Obama, it's because you're a racist. That's it. You have to start at that premise before you can say anything. Whether it's the truth or not about her, whether she's done this, that, or the other, because she's black, it's a racial issue. No, doesn't have anything to do with race at all. It has everything to do with money and what I'm paying out of my pocket for something or someone that nobody asked me, did I want that or not? Again, I'm paying for my government whether I want it or not. And I actually, some of the people of the African Americans that were posting, they were absolutely convinced that Obama hasn't done anything to try to divide the races. And I found that it's so hard to believe how you could even think that. And either that's because you don't watch the news, or because it doesn't impact you, and therefore it's not an important enough issue for you to even consider that. For the rest of us who are impacted by it, who, where this white privilege came out of the 1988s, and I've explained that before about, the feminist, the Caucasian feminist that's behind this. And again, I'm assuming she's Caucasian. She looks Caucasian, so therefore she's probably not. But anyway, you have to say, okay, what's the benefit out of this? And the only benefit are to those race haters that are trying to divide the races, and they're doing so because they've met with the president. They had a meeting with him, and he told them how wonderful they were and how great they are. Black Lives Matter people, specifically who I'm talking about. So don't tell me that he has nothing to do with trying to divide the races. I mean, this has been just an incredible week of looking, an eye-opening experience to really see how bad things are in regards to racial tensions in this country. All of it brought about and caused by race haters and this administration